In this video, I'll be sketching this portrait, and you can sketch with me. Let's start with a circle. I always start with circles. So the circle would be from here to over here. He has like a very nice hair that has a lot of volume. So probably the head ends somewhere over here. So this would be the circle, and then I would extend it a little bit for the chin area. I'm pressing very lightly. So the goal is the line to be very light, so it could be erased easily. Okay, so then what I want to find is the side of the head. Where I usually place this side is over here, going through the eyebrow. So you see how like this would be our front part of the face, and this would be like the side part of the face, so side of the head. So I would use this line, and then kind of like the symmetrical line over here would be somewhere over here, and that would be my side part of the head. And if the head ends somewhere here, it means that this line is gonna be maybe like 45% and 55%. It doesn't need to be exact, but just approximately like the feeling. Then what I want to find is the symmetry line. So the symmetry line goes between eyebrows, in the center of the lips, and the chin. And it's not going to be exactly in the middle of these two lines, because we see a little bit more of the right side and a little bit less of the left side. But I still want to like capture this angle, which is like that. You can make all these mistakes right now and you can fix it later. In the beginning, I just need a base that I can work on, and then I can change it and fix it. Another line I want to find is connecting our ear and the corner of the jaw. So over here. And then we want to have a chin, the base of the nose, and eyebrows, and the hairline here. So for example, the hairline, the eyebrows, the nose, the chin, and we want to connect the chin to the jaw corner. We can connect this for now, but we would need to make adjustments to show the cheekbone and the eyebrows. But for now we can connect it to see if it all makes sense. What's interesting about these three parts, they are usually equal to each other. But in his case, I feel like the forehead is a little bit smaller, maybe. So that's why I made this a little bit shorter than these two parts. Another interesting thing is that his head is tilted a little bit up, so the base of the nose is higher than the bottom of the ear. Usually if the person is looking straight, they would be aligned, but in his case it's a little bit different. So for example, the ear is gonna be here, for the neck. What usually I try to find is the collarbones. So the collarbones are going to the shoulders, and there is a space between the collarbones. I think his collarbone is going to be approximately here, and then it goes to the shoulders. We have our trapezius go there. Then we have the muscle that goes behind the ear to the middle of the collarbones, and there is another one there. So there is a neck. And these muscles connect to the neck. I feel like this could be the shoulder there. So I'm gonna adjust some of the features. This should look already like quite similar to what's here, at least like the right angles for the head, like the right proportions. So I want to like just fix anything that doesn't feel right. Okay, well, I'm gonna start with the eyebrows here, and I'm gonna create the eye area. So there is this triangle on the side. Then we're gonna have the cheekbones. The cheekbone is gonna be over here, and the other one is on this side. So the cheekbone is over here, and the other one is symmetrical to it. So it's gonna be over here. It's going to the almost the middle of the ear, and then going down there. So the more lines I'm adding, the more I can check myself if this head makes sense, if this head feels 3D. And maybe something wouldn't feel symmetrical and it needs to be changed. So line, 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 the nose, base of the nose, maybe like going a little bit lower even. Then the mouth gonna be, I would divide this part in 3, so this is where my mouth gonna be. So the cheekbone going there, then there's like some mustache. Okay. I'm just raising the lines a little bit so I can redraw them again on top. But I still see where they are. Okay, let's capture the features. So the eyebrow. He has very thick eyebrows, so it's a little bit tricky to like put it like, where do you want to put it? A little bit on top of this eyebrow line or a little bit lower, or I'm trying to put it somewhere in the middle. And then the eyebrow turns here, and this is where approximately our the side circle is. Where is the turn of the eyebrow? And then let's capture the nose. So for the nose, we have like this plane between the eyebrows. And then we have, if you simplify it into the box, it's gonna be something like this, going to the corner of the eye there, then connects to this side, and that would be our like a box for the nose. But we don't want to have like the box. We're gonna a little bit make it more complex. We're gonna split it into like a couple more planes. So we have like this bottom plane of the nose, and our nostril is gonna be in there on the bottom plane of the nose. So the wings of the nose. So here's a little bit of shadows there. This line also gets to be a little bit broken, not just too straight. I think it's good for now. So what do we have? Let's do the eye line. So the eye line is gonna be also parallel to all our lines there. And what I like to draw, I really like to draw the eyeball on the 3/4 view. You see like there is this round line there. So I definitely want to capture that one there. And here. So those would be approximately the eyeballs. And then we're gonna draw the eyelids that are going around the eyeball. We don't have the corner of the eye there, but we see the corner here. So we're doing the corner. Drawing the eye. Same here. And it goes to the corner that is on this line, but we don't see it, it's behind the nose. We don't forget the bottom eyelids. Even if they're not very visible here, they're still there, and we need to remember about them. And the top eyelid, of course. Hopefully he would look alike, but it's not really necessary for the study, especially in the beginning. I think the most important part is to focus on creating a realistic, like kind of believable person, instead of just focusing on creating someone who looks alike. That's why I like to do studies, especially in the beginning, of people that are not famous. This way you can relax and almost create your own characters. Change some features the way you like it. The mouth's gonna be here. We don't see the corners of the lips, but we can assume where they can be, and they're gonna be, of course, symmetrical. So for example, like this, and then we can have the bottom lip. I don't know, does it look okay? Maybe the mouth is a bit too short. Maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger. Then we would have like the chin circle here, and it's gonna be muscles that go around the mouth and then connecting to the chin. So it's not gonna be straight line there, but it's gonna be like a bump. The bump for the cheekbone, then the muscles that are going like here around the mouth, or over here. You can even see those lines a little bit here. Then it's overlaps with the chin circle, and that's why it's creating this little dent. And then we have I'm just refining the ear. Okay. So it kind of looks okay. Or what you can do, you can take a picture and edit it by doing like this of your image, of your drawing, and this way you might notice that if something is off and you need to fix. Or you can also take the sketchbook and turn it upside down to see if something is off symmetry wise. But we will continue. Let's do the hairstyle. The hairs would be like super important to capture, and it would give a lot of personality. And the beard as well, yeah. So the hair grows here this way, and we want to get this general shape of the hair strands. I watched the new movie, The Monkey Man, and Dev Patel was the director of the movie, and I was so amazed that how good is his first movie. I think like for the first movie, or even not for the first movie, even just in general for like any movie, it was quite good. But imagine it was the first movie, so it means that he's gonna be only getting better and better with his creativity of making the movies. So the mustache, then we have this part of the mustache, then it kind of goes a little bit longer over our chin and goes here, kind of goes there. It's probably difficult to draw the beard. I don't really draw beard very often, so it's a study for me, but I'm trying to focus on just main shapes of it, not overcomplicate it too much. Then it's connecting there, and they have our hairline. Like I feel like here it should be a little bit more dramatic, like this circle part, and then a little bit less dramatic far away here. Also here, I don't like the way it connects to the eyebrow there. Okay, so then we have the hairs over there, going over the neck. I'm gonna erase the chin line because it's distracting me a little bit, and I don't see the full silhouette. But here we want to have this cool curls. Okay, so we have it here, there. The t-shirt under the sweater. Then we can also like kind of mark where our shadow is gonna be a little bit. The hairs here is going over the ear. So now is the time to see if something is off or not with the silhouette overall. I think it might be, doesn't look exactly like him. I feel like my eyes are a bit too low. I usually always make too much space between the eyes and the eyebrows. That's my mistake that I don't know if it's a mistake, but I just like always do it. That's why it's interesting to analyze your artworks and kind of like learn more about yourself, what types of mistakes you repeatedly make, and you can prevent them in the future, because that's what you always do, right? So you can make shortcuts to fix your mistakes before even making them. Let's do some ear. So for the ear, what I would suggest doing is to do a couple of studies for the ears and decide which ear you like the most. Just memorize it and just draw those ears for everyone. Or at least, like, even if they're different, because you memorized one type of ear, you would notice those parts in other ears, even if they look a bit different. Okay, let's think of the silhouette. Is this silhouette kind of looking the same? I think it's okay, no? Could be okay. I think it's kind of fine. So if you're happy with your silhouette and the proportions and everything, then I would start committing to finalizing the sketch. But I wouldn't really rush, because if you made some crucial mistake, this is the time where it's the cheapest way to fix it. Like, this is the time when you can, you know, just erase and fix it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just erase it a little bit more, so I can focus on cleaner lines now and be more precise with it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna think about the lighting. So the lighting is coming from here, and this part of the face gets light, and the front part of the face gets light. So like you see, like this part, the front plane of the nose, the lips, the left side of the neck, and a little bit over here, just not too much. This is much lighter. So what I see, that this part here is all in shadows. So theoretically, I can just like overall give a big shading everywhere. And the things like eyebrows as well, they're gonna be darker, not because even they're in the shadows, but just because it's a dark hair. I would probably leave this part not shaded too much. We can finalize it a little bit later. The bottom plane of the nose is gonna be in the shadow. The mustache. The eyebrow. Beard. Probably top lip, and everything starts from to be in the shadow from this side. So the lip maybe gets a little bit of light, but then it's all shadow on the right. Then we need to start adding the shadows on the forehead, where it's kind of like turning to be the side. The hair is of course all dark. And I think like when like maybe like the t-shirt, because it's just a darker t-shirt, I'm not pressing too hard, so we can always make everything even darker for the darker bits. So for example, here the beard and the skin is the same tone right now. Definitely the beard's gonna be even darker, but I'll do it later, just not to rush and not to make any sudden mistakes. So here I have like a nice transition from lighter to darker, and this whole chick is gonna be in the shadow. Like half of the eye is gonna be also in the shadow, and this part on top of the eye too. Also this part as well. It's a lot of work to shade a portrait that has a lot of shadows. And our sweater also is going to be in the shadow just because it's on the right side. Okay. I'm gonna go and create even darker shadows where it's needed. Be starting with the hair, but to be honest, I'll just gonna be jumping here and there. So right now I will be like just focusing on what's lighter, what's darker, and creating all those different tones. The more different tones I have, and if they're right, the more 3D drawing would look like. So I probably should add the pupils now, irises and pupils. So here's gonna have the highlight, then the pupil, pupil, it's important to add enough dark shadows in the eyes, because there are eyelashes there, there are shadows from eyelashes, and we want to show it. Even if you're not drawing the individual eyelashes, you need to draw then the thick lines that would represent those eyelashes. Okay, let's do the second eye so they're not too different. So like here on this eye, I would probably like do the same thing for the eyelashes, the thick line, but I would also draw some eyelashes standing out there because on the side of the eye we usually see them quite a lot because they're going around there to the corner. The corner is going to be there, and it's we see all these eyelashes coming out all from here, 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 here on the side. And also like here on the side we also see them a bit. The bottom eyelid is super important there. I want to maybe even exaggerate it a little bit more than on the photograph. I also think that right now I'm making him look like he has not brown hair, but brown eyes, but the blue eyes or something. Even though like there is no color, like I'm not using the color, but right now to me his eyes look like they're not brown because it's a bit too light. The brown color is usually much darker. It's very close to the middle part of the eye, so that's why I'm gonna darken the irises quite a lot so it looks like he has brown eyes. Okay, so the nose we can definitely darken here. It's also nice to like take a little bit breaks and walk away from your drawing. This way you might see something important that is off, because when you're drawing you analyzing small bits and you're focusing on them quite a lot, that you might miss the main picture a little bit of what is actually like more important. Because a lot of things when we look at the portrait, we're gonna see some parts of it and we're gonna ignore other parts. And even sometimes we think, oh, that's a cool thing, I'm gonna focus on it quite a lot, but with the more experience you would know that maybe some parts should be ignored or could be changed or else modified. So we don't need to follow exactly what we see, but it comes with the experience because we need to kind of like know why we do certain things, why we're skipping some details and some we don't. So right now with the mustache, I'm trying to think of just like what shape it is and where the shadows would be, and also like the shadows from the mustache. I still feel like he looks like not a brown-eyed person in my sketch. Let's make it even darker. Nostril. We want to have it big enough nostril to breathe. I think it's getting better and better. At least like even if he doesn't look exactly like him here, I think it's the way I probably see him. I'm doing this portrait for monthly challenge on my Patreon, and it's really cool to see like how different people draw same reference, because everyone notices a little bit different things, and that's very interesting to see what people noticed, what they draw, and which things that are the best to notice, so you can even learn what works for other artists and take it to yourself. So it's a lot of analyzing happening during those studies. Again, here also trying to think of the shape of this part of the beard. Even like thinking of like how it would look like as if it would be just a sphere, even though it might be not the right shape, but I guess close enough. So here is something weird, like here's our chin, and then we can see a little bit of our transparent hairs there. So I'm not sure how to show it. I'll try. I think it's kind of okay. Let's keep working. But here I don't see any transparency there, and it's quite dark. My weakest part of the portrait is always the hair. I'm just doing the bare minimum for the hair. The bare minimum that would look okay, that people at least not notice the hair. They're not gonna be the best looking hair, but they would at least look like in the same style with the drawing. That's my goal. A lot of artists have very beautiful hair on their portraits, and I'm a little bit jealous, but at the same time not really, because I don't want to study them too much. I see a lot of highlights over there somehow, like over here there are highlights. He has a bunch of curls, so I'm not sure how to show it, but I'll try to keep it in mind, and maybe like leave some lighter bits there. I don't know. We'll see. But for the hair, same thing. Like, so my bare minimum is to think of all these individual hair strands shapes, and yeah, kind of like design them even. What I'm doing, I'm kind of like working from left to right, because I don't want to come back drawing something here, because I'm gonna smudge everything on the right side. So that's why I'm trying to work a little bit gradually. On the clothes, I think it could be a little bit more sketchier, because it's it would create some energy that it's very like rough sketch. Oh, this one doesn't look good, but I tried. I don't know if it's important. I don't think it's important to show the clothes too much. It would grab too much attention, that like for nothing, because it's not very important. So here's a little bit like a hard edge, but then over here is a little bit softer. So for the soft edge, I'm just creating like a little bit of the smoother transition between darker and lighter values. And for the hard edge, it's just sharper line, like light, dark, where here is a gradient. So here's the beard is very dark, but over here is again like kind of like lighter see-through beard, and I want to create that gradient again, like a little bit softer edges. Here's I feel like very dark. When you don't see many details, it means it's in the shadows, and you don't want to detail it too much because it's in a shadow, and you're not gonna see details in real life there too. Your eyes not gonna see all the tiny details, so you can kind of like make just a general shading there. So here it's gonna be, the hair is gonna be the most detailed. Here's almost like just a blob of dark tone. I'm trying to create a different texture for the rim of the sweater. And in the shadow it's just gonna be darker. It's always gonna be different from what it looks in the light. I'm gonna finish this part, but what I see is kind of like flat area over here. No, don't you feel it? What I like to do, I like to add a little bit of shadows to connect hair to the skin of the forehead. Otherwise, like, they feel like a little bit flat and disconnected from each other. Also, I feel like maybe like I need to do it here too, a little bit. Just anywhere where I feel a little bit too flat, I need to go and add a tiny bit of darker tone or lighter tone, probably darker, because like for example here it felt untouched there, so it felt flat to me. What about the eye? Like, what do you think? Like, I feel like this part could be much darker. So yeah, just adding more darker tones where it feels like something is missing. I feel like this part is a little bit too light in a way, and I don't know which part to make darker. Just working on it more and more and more and more, and adding more smaller, tinier changes of tone and shifting it a little bit left, right. This is the time when it's probably healthy to, not healthy, like good for your drawing is to like stop and walk away from it and then come back to it, or taking a picture again and seeing some things that needs to be changed, kind of like from the new perspective. It's a little bit tricky with the beard. I still think like even though I was trying to follow the shapes, I still think it needs to be kind of like way darker overall. You might want to use different types of pencil, softer, to create darker areas. But I'm quite lazy. I just use one pencil, whatever. I to be honest think that I'm gonna be doing this portraits, if I'll be doing these portraits with the colored pencils, because I just enjoy them more, because you can't smudge them, you cannot blur them, so it's a little bit more of practicing the hatching style, less blending there, and I kind of like it more. And plus, yeah, so it doesn't get dirty, and it's a colorful portrait at the end. in a sketchbook, it doesn't make the other page dirty. I need to define a little bit more the planes for the forehead and make the hairs even darker. The hair is not very difficult, but it's just so much work, like physically work of like hatching so many movements, where like the eye you're just focusing on a little bit, but it's super important, where the hair not as important, but needs so many movements to make it done. Let's finish the ear. Since the ear is a lot of in the shadows, I'm gonna like put it in a shadow, especially the top part. This would also make the ear not stand out too much, so it would have less contrast. It's not gonna be too weird and visible, so you would be still looking more on the face. But if you make the too much contrast there, it would look just weird because it's supposed to be in the shadow, and the ears have so many details that if it's too much contrast, it's just gonna look not weird. No, it could be weird, but it just grabs too much attention, and they're not as important, and they are a little bit weird if you look at them for a long time. If you keep looking at them, you're just thinking like, whoa, what is that? That looks extremely weird. I think I'm about to be done. Okay, this is my sketch of Dev Patel. I hope you liked the video. Let me know if you would like me to post more similar videos. And if you would like a feedback on the portrait, you can join my Patreon. And I do monthly overpaints, and you can get personal feedback from me. I hope it was helpful, and if it wasn't, or you notice something is wrong, or I say something wrong, or I do something wrong, please let me know in the comments. I would be happy to learn from you. Thank you. See ya. Bye.